dating in your 30s. Here's what I wish I knew sooner. I started dating again in my early 40s. And when I did, I was met with dating apps, breadcrumbing, emotionally unavailable men. I decided that all men over 40 that were on the dating apps were burnt and from their past marriages. How am I ever going to find a guy? And endless small talk, ghosting. Heck, it was draining. It was so exhausting. And if you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s, because now I am, because I was on dating apps for 8 long years, if you didn't know, 8 long years. But here's what I know now. Chances are no one prepared you for how different it would feel. And I really found that after all my different experiences, I found there's different approach, and it made such a difference. Because what I noticed, I kept on attracting the same kind of dude. He was a little toxic, unemotionally unavailable, and sometimes really friggin' burnt. And then that I would get called for booty calls, and I was like, what is it going? What's going on? I just want to find someone. Is it that hard? Well, you've done the work, but what you keep attracting feels like the opposite of what you're looking for. This was me. So this is why I created an ebook, how to spot red flags straight up and attract emotionally available men. I created this list, and it's this not just a list, but it's like an architectural design, as if you were designing a house. And within 1 month, this is when I found my guy. If I've given it to a lot of my friends and family to try out, and a couple of my girlfriends just found it so different that it was a game changer, because they were able to put in boundaries, they were able to spot red flags straight up, and they knew with this list, you start with what you will not put up with anymore. And it creates an energetic vibe that doesn't let anyone else in. And I really like non-smokers, not no smokers, and lots of different other things. And then on the other side, or another page, is a desire list. On the top of that list of mine, and will be, I'm sure, of yours, will be emotionally available man. I mean, you might have said men, but let's just go for one at this moment. Then underneath, it's not just a list, because when you're designing you're creating your house, you will work out how many bedrooms you'll have. You work out the colours, the how many toilets you can have. You will work out the tiling, what your kitchen looks like, the design of it. So it's the same as why hasn't we were taught this in school? Because you got to go right under and then under that desires is, what does it feel like when you're in this relationship? So I took it right down to the next level. Imagined, I love walking along the beach. So imagine walking along the beach with my guy, hand in hand, feeling happy, feeling in love. Sure enough, that's my reality now. I imagine traveling. So if you can see that picture, that's us traveling on a cruise. I pictured myself in the vision already, feeling those feelings already. And then that's when you can really weed out so many. And when I went back onto the dating apps after applying this list, then going underneath in the fields of what I wanted to feel, and you're not bringing in past relationships, you're not muddying the water either. You're not thinking, oh gosh, I'm so burnt that I'll never find someone. Because if you have that kind of mindset, of course you're not going to find someone, and you'll end up because like attracts like, and you will attract someone similar. And like at the ghoster that I had before this relationship, I had been through really personal experience with a family member, and they had a similar experience, except a lot worse. But we kind of trauma bonded, and I was like thinking this is great, but it wasn't. And they just kept on getting triggered all the time, which I didn't realize now. And then they ghosted me after 5.5 months. I was devoed. And then it took me, now I can reflect on it. It just wasn't meant to be. I just wasn't seeing the signs. So this gets you to see the red flags before they even come up. Like you won't attract that kind of vibe anymore. That's it, is that vibration, that frequency that you're putting out there. Because if you've already, it also comes back to what earlier experience as a child were you trying to earn your love from your parents? Did you have to get good grades? Did you have to did you have to fight with your brothers and sisters to get some attention? All of this, that kind of stuff, now turns up in relationships. If you were to look back at your past relationships, have you been people pleasing? Have you been, I used to do this all the time with with the text messages, looking at the text and overthinking it. What does that mean? Do you think that I've said something wrong? Because other people interpret text differently. But and also feeling safe in your body, I realized I was always coming from survival mode because of all the bad relationships. I had a broken down marriage, so I was feeling shame from that as well, and I brought it all into the next relationship. But now I feel safe in my body. I feel safe, and then I attracted a guy who supports, loves, and cherishes me like a complete queen that I am, and that you are too. I want you to know it's not your fault. You are not broken. Because I thought there must be something wrong with me. And if you've ever thought there's something wrong with me, that's got a thing to do with that's got a lot to do with your childhood, when you would go to your parents and say, you would try and verbalize something, they would say, what's wrong? It makes you think, oh, something must be wrong with me if I'm asking something's wrong. But it's just a saying it. It's not, and they didn't know any different either. So does that make sense? Feeling safe in your body, and you can do it like an emotional breath work, just a quick reset, grounding of breathing and feeling safe in your body, and also just reflecting on what's happened in the last couple of relationships. As a heart healing practitioner, I'm able to work out too. I can see people's blind spots now because I had them myself. I used to be like that. I used to be on edge. But now I can see where you probably weren't feeling safe to be yourself, safe to safe to be safe to be yourself, safe to ask, and safe to receive. So there's got a lot to do with how you are attracting on your next relationship, because you will see there will be some kind of pattern. If you've had a couple of breakups, you can see that'll be the same thing that you're doing. So my link is in the bio for this ebook, and sit with it. Do your list, non-negotiables, what you not will put up with anymore. Do a desire list, then go right under the feels of what you want to feel in your next relationship. This is so similar to whether you go to the grocery store and buy food, and have you got a list? And notice the difference when you go to the grocery store buying with a list and without a list. And building a house, you will always do it with some plans. So why not have a plan to get on dating apps or to find your next